Hey guys, it's Renee from Raw Branded. I'm just checking to set up and just seeing that everything is working okay. If you guys have problems hearing me, seeing me, let me know as usual. Um, yeah, everything should be up and running. So, what I wanted to talk about today is, and by the way, I'm playing around with camera, so you'll see me looking around. But what I wanted to talk about today is this question. So I was on YouTube. I was on YouTube and I posed this whole question. I was talking about your brand story and your website. And so I got a response. And the question was, okay, well, I'm creating my website. How does my story fit into my website? And this person was asking about like their about page. Where does that fit in? Is it the entire story, my whole life story? Does that go on my site? And so I wanted to clarify this because I don't know if I was diving deeper enough, and I want to make sure that you get this. So let's talk about this a little bit more about your audience and your story, because that's really what it comes down to. It comes down to your audience and your story. Okay, so one thing to keep in mind when it comes to brand storytelling, just something to think about here. Newsflash, okay? It's gonna come as a very big surprise, but it's not all about you. I know. I kept telling you guys about your story and how important your story is. And it is. It's just so important. It's a key part of your brand story. But that being said, that's not only it, okay? It's not just about you. In our lives we like to think that it's all about us, right? If only. No, it's not all about us, okay? Remember, you still have an audience that you're serving at the end of the day, right? You have an audience who you're speaking to. So, in the case of this, where you fit in, you're the guide, right? You're stepping in to help your audience get through their problems, right? If you have a business, okay, so you know that you're serving some sort of group, and so it's your job to now step in and help your audience resolve their issue, right? That's what you're there for. That's why you built your business, right? And so you're there helping them to navigate to getting results, right? But here's the thing: when your audience comes to you, right, your story is the essential thing that's going to hook them in, right? The story is it's the thing that's going to let people think about why they should do business with you, right? They're going to think about, okay, I need this help with this service. You come along, here you are as the guide. Why should I choose you over any of the million other people that I can choose, right? And this is where you don't want to be forgettable. This is where I'm telling you to stay memorable, to stand out, because you don't want to be passed over. For someone who, is probably not the ideal match for your audience, but because they were more visible, they were more memorable, your audience went to that person and not you. And that's just the unfortunate thing, right? And you don't want that to happen. So you're the guide to help people get results. We got that clear. But when your story comes into place, and how does that fit into this, is that your story is, this is the thing that's going to separate you from everyone else, okay? This is the thing that you're going to pull from, the thing that's going to hook them in so that your audience will say, you know what, you get me, and this is why I want to do business with you, is because you get me. You understand me. You understand where I am. You understand where I'm going. Your story, in fact, your story may be my story. Your story may be the thing that I went through, or I'm going through currently, right? And only you've gotten to the other side. You being you as the business owner, waving purple pen here. You as a business owner you've gotten to the other side. And so your audience now needs you. They need your help. So that's where the story comes into play, because, people are going to wonder, well, I have options. Why should you? But then your story comes into play, and then they're like, hey, you know what? This person totally gets me, and that's why I need to do business with them. And not only do they get me, but they can help me, right? This is where you're able to let your audience essentially fall in love with you, right? You want them to so connect with you that it becomes like this beautiful love story, right? It's this love story, stay with me here. It's this love story where they know, your audience knows that you have shared interests, right? And this is for anyone who has a passion-centered business. Like, you have something, a message, a cause, a underlying belief in your business, that you're trying to get across. It could be just what you do in your work, but then just in your philosophy, just your way, your message, what you're trying to put out there that's bigger than your business. This is where that connection comes in. And this is especially, I'm thinking of, and I'll get to this, because if you're watching, you've had this question where you asked me, I'm speaking to someone specifically here, about your passion and how does that fit into your business. This is where it fits into your business. This is where you can connect on this human level across this shared passion, right? So that's where the story piece comes into play. That's why it's so important, because that's the emotions. That's the emotional connective part of this, right? When you're brand storytelling. So you have this greater message, right? You have this love story going on. And this love story is mutually beneficial, right? It's beneficial to your audience because they're getting helped, and it's beneficial to you because you're able to serve, right? You're doing the thing that you love, and in return, people are benefiting from it. So it's this great dynamic, this relationship that's going on, right? So that's where you start to build, we talk about know, like, and trust. That's at the core of know, like, and trust. All that factor, right? And once you get this going, that's when you can start presenting your offer, your solution. That's when people will start asking, what can you do to help me out? You know what I mean? Oftentimes, I know it's kind of crazy, but oftentimes people get this wrong. You're presenting your offer because you know that what you're offering is amazing. In your head, you think it's amazing. You've come up with this great solution. You want to put it out there, but it's not going to connect with people unless they first understand who's behind the offer, right? What's behind the offer? Why the offer? You know what I mean? And so that's why you have to put the pieces all together, right? This is why I say that brand storytelling is foundational, because it starts to impact everything you do, right? It's the message, and it's how the message is executed, right? And it's the relationship and how you forge that relationship. How is that connection taking place? What is the story that you're telling? What is the journey that your audience is on? All of that comes in together. So that's why it's important to have all these pieces, all of them clear, crystal clear. So yes, that is the answer to that. If you want to have an audience that, they're going to keep coming back to you time and time again, they're going to choose you, you'll drop your next, whatever you're coming with, course, program, what have you, and you have people eager to sign up for it. The way in which you get that kind of, that sense of like urgency, that sense of I have to do business with you, is by connecting through the emotions, by having that kind of a brand story, right? And so if you're trying to do a business that's next leveling here, you're trying to get to like Oprah status, and even think of her. She went from television to, magazine and, totally different mediums. People digest information in different ways, but people were willing to follow her journey and to continue with her because they believed in her, the value in her, the connection they have with her story. And so the next thing she releases, game on. Yes, I'm in. That's what you want with your business, and that's why you need to have a tight brand story, okay? If you have questions about this, do drop your questions below, okay? I'll look for them, answer them happily, and then do tune in next time, all right? See you guys. Bye.